guys, okay? Yeah, so going back to you know, before the break, what we were speaking about, do you think in this day and age polygamy could work successfully, and why? And I think Sisters Keeper did say that, you know, it's happening anyway. It's just to put the systems and structures in place. And I don't know if anybody wanted to add to that. I mean, personally, I think, oh, my camera's not on, sorry guys. Personally, I think that, yeah, like Sisters Keeper said, it's already happening. For those, you know, because it's not for everyone, it's not going to be for everyone. But for those that, you know, are choosing to entertain it, then, you know, you have to have some sort of structure behind it and understanding, because I think understanding is key in anything that you do relationship wise or what have you. So yeah, in terms of it working, I think it could work to a certain extent, but I don't think it could work with everybody, because as someone was saying about the men not being, you know, necessarily providers, I think that's where the problem comes in. Mm-hmm. with you know, the sisters fighting and whatsoever, because, you know, people are not thinking logically. Everybody's just thinking, you know, sort of for me. So there isn't, you know, everyone's thinking again from the lust point of view and from the point of view of just a personal point of view, like myself and my kids, but forgetting that, you know, all these children are siblings, you know. So if one set grow up and they feel neglected and the other set are growing up, you know, deemed to be taken care of by the, you know, the father, then that in itself creates a problem within our community anyway. I can see you're back with us, Simone.
Yeah, sorry.
You was going to touch on something before we went to break. So do you want to get back to what you was going to say?
Yeah, I was just, what was coming up for me was when I speak to, like, just maybe I would say going back 10 years, and even still now, when friends might be like, yeah, I ain't dealing with no man that's got any baby mothers because I don't want the baby mama drama. Yeah. And it goes back to, I think it was Joy saying, it becomes a competition as who can have the most kids for the man. And sometimes baby mothers make it very easy to give up the front when they know that the man's still in a relationship, and it just causes too much contention and confusion and chaos in a relationship. And you can't enter any relationship when you still got stuff lingering on and you still got somebody making it easy to access.
And then sorry, to just quickly piggyback off what you're saying, that's why, in a sense, you know, you can say that people are practicing polygamy in a sense now in present modern day, because just based on what you even just said, like, you know, the competition and, you know, everybody's wanting to have, you know, really have children, and, you know, so we're doing it anyway. So why not do it with structure and understanding, so that there isn't all that confusion and we're not fighting each other and disrespecting each other's children and shit like that. But yeah, sorry, go on. I just had to, yeah.
Sisters, say something.
Just like what if I things to talk about? Go ahead, Simone. We're talking.
No, it's just like things like that just make it so much more apparent that these things are happening, whether it's willingly, structured, unstructured, like deceitfully, is still happening. And I guess for those people that like the aspect of sharing and don't really care about where they lay their head at, which person the partner lays their head at night with, or they have a system that works for them, like, each to their own. Please go off in your bubble and do your thing, and leave us like, leave me and mine to do what we came to do, because that's just.
And you know what, yeah, if people were able to just accept that, just that narrative that you just played out there, then even the sisters like you know, us, that are not willing to share, then we will probably have a man for ourselves. Do you understand what I mean? Because there will be a system in it. If you want to be a polygamous man, or you want to have more than one woman or more than one baby mother, first of all, you got to be financially stable to be able to do that. Do you understand what I mean? Second of all, you have to be able to be a leader. You can't have multiple women and think your shit's going to be in control if you can't lead, because that's when the women start fighting because there's no order.
Yeah.
And then I think too, like, back to sisterhood. If we don't have strong systems around sisterhood, we're gonna always have chaos. Always have chaos. Like, I come from the perspective of woman. I come from the perspective of the power in feminine divine, and I understand the power we hold as women. As a woman, I don't do either, girl. I don't do them something. You understand what I'm saying? I do sit down and make man take advantage of me and them something. Brother, these are the terms and conditions, and if you can't comply, then keep it moving. You understand? Women have to stand firm and stand grounded and know what you want out of life. And stop making people walk all over you and entertaining foolishness, Bridget. Like, whatever you want is out there. Stop settling for these brothers that don't know themselves and don't know what they want, and inviting drama into your space. So again, if these girls don't have no self-concept, we're gonna always be seeing drama. Always.
100%.
My situation, as an example, it's not a polygamous situation. The man has a child with the other woman who he's no longer with. We have met, gone to the house, met this individual. We have been cordial. We have been in the space on more than one occasions with the whole family. And fast forward about 2 years later, I just saw this female somewhere, and I don't know out of what or where it came from, but sister decided to say she did with her friend and she want to show up herself. Yeah. And it was such a confusing moment for me, because it's like, well, I have something? I don't say I have something. You understand me? I say, and but go back to brother about it and him talk to her and make sure you know, so like, you know, you need to understand yourself, because we are keep up with this foolishness. But it's just like, again, the self-concept thing. Yeah, you may want the man, but whatever is going on between you and him has nothing to do with me. And he did his part by making sure that, you know, the air was clear and there's a firm understanding that this is not my woman, this is the mother of my child. He tried to create structure, but again, it's these females that don't know themselves sometimes that will always try to enter drama into the chat. So women have to know themselves, brother. Women have to know themselves.
I agree with you 100% on that, because no care what a man is going to tell a woman. Yeah. You see, like I said, you have some females out there who haven't got the capacity or even common sense to understand a certain situation. Even, and I'm not defending no man on this, even man and he has a child out of your relationship, and the man is going to do the utmost to try and reason and explain, and the woman's accepting it. You're going to still have a female out there who believes she's more than what she is in her position.
That's it right there. That's it right there.
To some females, know your position in anybody's life. Regardless of child, know your position. And until you understand this, we ain't going to move forward in no sort of kind of concept in anything, regardless of sharing a man.
100% agree.
And there's still some women, even at age, will still have that contention with themselves in regards to their approach, their mannerism. So I get that, like, for real, there's some females, even us now in this room, fair play to us, we wouldn't even be able to entertain a conversation like this. So we've got to understand that about some females. And I fortunately have a lot of friends where I kind of understand your capacity of understanding and learning isn't my capacity. So sometimes we women got to understand, for real, don't get angry with them. Just know that their learning curve isn't your learning curve. True. Because I've got some females and they couldn't even entertain a group like this. They just couldn't. The concept of it is beyond them. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, there are females out there like that.
And you see, and even to piggyback off of that, it still goes back to you as the individual in it, knowing what you're worth and knowing what you deserve. Because for me, my response to that situation is that I'm removing myself, because I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that because there's only so much you can do. I mean, I want to end up in a fight with a black woman over foolishness, and it wouldn't be because of the man. From my perspective, it would be that you taunt me and you provoke me and you disrespect me. So who knows what it may get to? You understand what I mean? It's not every day I'm cool, calm, and collected. It's not every day I'm going to be aligned. There are going to be those days where I'm tipped, and you might just catch me on one of those. I mean, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. So while she grows up, he has to deal with the situation on his own, because me and him didn't create that circumstance. So I have to know well enough for me what makes sense for me. And for me, no, I'm not dealing with that. That's just my response. I'm not dealing with that. Y'all gotta go. I don't have time for that. Not doing that.
Yeah, 100%. And I
Said
respect
speed.
people. Sorry. Who was that? Simone? Who was that?
No, me just to say, yeah, man, same thing. Said speed as what she said, yeah.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
we've got to sometimes as well take our own responsibility. Because no matter how we look at it, sometimes we'll entertain things where we know it's not right anyhow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm the person, I'll always take responsibility for my behavior. So you see, little from me, I'm not going to sit and moan and say, why did this happen to me? I'm going to identify, well, why did you put yourself in that position?
That position.
There you go. There you go.
Self-blame.
Yeah. There you go. Yep.
Accountability.
Accountability. So I guess we all kind of on the same understanding, kind of the same page that it can have benefits in the community, but it's not for everyone.
Right.
And I wanted to just ask another question, because you know me, I like to ask questions. So have any of you ever been in a polygamous relationship, or would you consider being in a polygamous relationship? I can start off with that. So I won't say that I've been in one knowingly, but then listening to everyone speak, and then obviously, us breaking shit down, I've definitely been in a polygamous relationship. Do you get what I mean? Like, because when I think about it, most of the guys that I chose to date when I was, in my 20s and whatever, they were always what you class as top man, that kind of thing, well sought after in the community. We know what comes with that. That comes with baggage. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And I have children as a product of that whole, do you understand what I mean? At the time, there's no way I would have ever said to anyone that I'm in a polygamous relationship, because I wasn't in there, willingly. Well, I was in there willingly, but unconsciously. Does that make sense? Because I'm just thinking, well, this is my man, it's my baby father. Girl, you need to just excuse me out of my way and don't piss me off. Do you understand what I mean? But when you think about it and you come back to it, it's the same thing, because the man's entertaining all of us.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So we're there fighting amongst ourselves as the women. Meanwhile, the man's just, he might be vexed with me. I might be vexed with him today, but he's going to find Suzette. And then when Suzette's vexed with him, he's going to find the next baby mother. And it's just going to keep going around like that. And if we all be real, well, I'm not going to say everybody, but for myself, I'm being real. I have been in that situation more than one time. Do you understand what I mean? And it takes you to get to a point where you have to question yourself, as Saf was saying, like, why am I always putting myself in this kind of situation? Or why am I attracting this kind of person, or why am I attracted to this kind of person? So sometimes you have to take accountability for yourself. And to be honest, for me, I think that penny dropped for me in 2019, if I be honest. And I was with someone, and again, we was in the same cycle. And it was like, I said to myself, like, like when you just literally say to yourself, like, why am I dating the same man in a different body? It was, the penny just dropped. I swear to God, the penny just dropped. Saf, you know who I'm talking about. Joy, you know who I'm talking about. The penny just dropped. And it was like, I got to bounce. Do you understand? There was no, obviously, like, drama, woman drama, whatever. But, I was well aware that there's other people on the scene. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So, again, coming back to this whole concept of polygamy and, does it work? Does it not work? Is it for you or is it not for you? We have to be real with ourselves. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And think about what it is that we want and what it is that we're entertaining. And again, another thing that I wanted to touch on, as I said, that most of these men were deemed as, top man, or they had money, so in a sense, they were like kings. If you think of it in that, do you understand what I mean? They were able to provide, you understand what I'm trying to say? The kids weren't going without, we were just fighting, each other as women, as women do, ego and shit and whatever. But when you think about it in that sense, that's why women were attracted to that one particular man, because he either had a lot of money, or he had a lot of power, or he had a lot of fame. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Do you understand the narrative that I'm painting? So when we are choosing to go for those kind of men in the community, we need to be going with the understanding that we are possibly going to be in a polygamous relationship.
Not possibly, you are.
Yeah, and for me, obviously, you know, I'm not entertaining that shit no more. I'm approaching midlife stage where I just need to settle down and have someone that don't give me headache, and I don't have to worry about where you are, you don't have to worry about where I am, and we keep it respectful. So that's where I am with my life. But I must say that I have been in them situations knowingly, and as I said, unconsciously, because your faculties are somewhere else when you're doing all of that. You understand what I mean? You can't be in your right frame of mind and entertaining, you know, you're entertaining a situation, but then fighting it. So it's like kind of a madness. So yeah, whoever wants to chime in on that.
I will go. I've been in them situations. I've been every position. I've been the wife, not knowingly, mostly not knowingly, but still, when you really look back at my growth now, did you really not know? You know, if you think like, oh, you're married to this guy, you don't even come home half the time. Come on, Saf, did you really not know?
There you go.
Come on. You know, like sometimes you have to really put it back onto yourself and you're done. But maybe it's called growth or it's called understanding. I don't know. But the reality is, we do move on. We do move on. Do you know what I mean? So I can honestly say, yeah, I've been in them situations lots of times, lots of different scenarios. However, over the last 5 years, I just think the growth in me makes me aware I was in them situations. If you'd asked me then, I'd be like, no, I don't know what I would have said, to tell the truth. I don't know what I would have said. But the growth in me, it makes me know that was the reality of life. And when I have to look back, honestly, you think, well, how often have you been in a healthy relationship? See what I mean? Like, I have to question things like that. And some of them was good and some of them wasn't, but the majority wasn't. And I think that makes me aware now of what you don't want. And in your question, would you ever be in a polygamous relationship now? To be honest, depending what, like I said before, depending on how it's brought to me and my knowledge and his knowledge, who's to say? I'm not going to honestly lie here and say, no, that'll never be for me. I don't know. My growth in me now as a woman and even kind of understanding man a lot more. Maybe not. I honestly do not know. Well,
yeah, you're saying that you'd have to, you know, you'd have to be in that position to be able to answer it honestly.
Yeah, and it has to be like the pros and cons of what he's bringing to the table.
Okay, so again, if it was a person financially stable, in a position of power, you know, able to provide, give you the love and attention.
I don't think the main thing would be the providing and the money. It'd be like, what are your morals?
And I said, and give you the love and attention that you need.
Yeah, what do you stand for?
In what sense? Hello?
Sorry, I just gotta go somewhere. 1 minute. I'll be back in the group. I've got to open my door.
Okay, cool. So anybody else want to say their piece on that? If they would entertain a polygamous relationship, or if they've been in one unknowingly or knowingly?
So first of all, I was put in a situation that came about because of lies and dishonesty, really, not on my part. Long story short, they had another child during our relationship, kept it like a secret for over a year. And then out of nowhere, like, this child's mother started getting invited to like family events and their child. And I was like, oh, whoa, without me knowing. I guess for me, I said initially, like, if you're saying that this is what you want us to move forward past this situation, then you need to bring that person and we have a conversation so they know what their position is and they know what my position is, because apparently before said thing happened, they knew who I was and what I was. So for me, like, because I don't dabble in disrespect. That's one thing I ain't dealing with. Like, you're not gonna disrespect me on no level and
Yeah.
make me look like some fool out here. That I'm not having that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted that to be clear, and I made it very clear, and he just refused to accommodate such conversation. And then it got to a point where there was a party at his house, his family's party, and said person came, and I was like, why didn't anybody tell me? Furthermore, why is she here? Because before this, I've been around the family for however many years.
Yeah.
I'd never seen her or heard of her. So, you know, it's kind of like, meh. So it got a bit heated at one point, and I decided that I'm going to take my child and I'm going to leave and go home, because again, I'm not going to have the disrespect, and you're not going to have me. I'm not going to be fighting in people's houses, and I don't have nobody that's worrying about my head back. So let me take my baby and let me go home, and y'all can deal with whatever y'all dealing with. So it was after that situation, had a conversation with my partner at the time, and it was almost like I was in the wrong.
Oh, wow.
So I said, okay, this is clear. You want to have some blended polygamous family that I'm not here for. So I had to walk away from that, because it was very clear to me how things were going to be moving forward. And just like going back to when Saf was mentioning about, you know, we have to educate the women and the girls and let them know what the situation is. I had a choice to stay. I had a choice to leave. My choice was to leave, because the disrespect was not going to continue, and I wasn't going to subject my child to that. Like, I come from a family and a line of, you know, men cheating, men having multiple kids with different women, like all of that stuff. Like, at some point the cycle has to stop.
Definitely.
We can't continue this cycle of dysfunction and acceptance of not honoring the partner that you're with. So especially women. So I made the decision, like, nah, I'm not staying here, not doing this. Like, in this circumstance, my child is better with us apart than us together. And also, I don't want to get in between the relationship that my child has with your other child. So for their benefit, and for you to be able to have a healthy relationship with your daughter, I'm just going to step away, because there's no way that I can be a part of this mess.
That part I definitely resonate with, because that was my attitude when I had my twins. It was like, well, you know, I'm not going to entertain this, and my children are definitely not going to grow around, you know, madness, dysfunction, fighting each other. And then when they grow up, they don't get their siblings because, you know, the mothers were fighting all the way through their childhood. So yeah, I did pretty much what you did, and I just walked away. So
for me, it was the audacity that somebody that one, like a wham bam thank you ma'am situation, had malice towards me. Like, I took her, I was like, maybe I need to leave then, because I'm the issue here. So let me step to the left and keep it pushing, because ain't nobody stopping my shine here. Like, y'all good, and you still didn't get the man. Like, that's the thing, you still didn't get him after all the fussing and the fighting. And it's like, you're continuously being dysfunctional within his situation and my kid's situation, because it's a mess.
It gets like that.
It's a mess.
So definitely you're not entertaining it.
No, we have a choice. But then, you know, more recent times now, I have been, you know, speaking to people before, and it's been like, you know, would you be open to it? And I've said straight up and down, no. I'm not into the sharing thing. Like, you feel that you can get things from multiple different women, so you're telling me that I'm not enough
100%.
when I know I'm enough. So if you're telling me I'm not enough, go find two others that can make one of me, because I can't. And there's no, oh, you'll come around to it. Like, no, I've said what I've said, and that's it.
There's not coming around to that. Yeah,
not having that. I can't do the sharing thing, because I don't know, my nature is to be like loyal to almost to my detriment, but I give all of me in a relationship. So I couldn't be giving all of me and still be kind of being told that I'm not enough.
Yeah.
Because like, what more do you want me to like create something else and bring it to the table. Like, no, if we can't be spicy and we can't be experimental between the two of us, then obviously the connection ain't that deep, and you need to go look for someone that can fulfill your cup, because this cup can make it overflow.
I hear that.
Yeah, goody.
Yes, good as, yes. Go back to our song. I'm sure
but I'm knocking nobody, you know. If that's what people want to do, go ahead. Just
that's why I
please
said it's not for.
sure,
That's why I said it's not for everyone, but you know, there's
make
people
sure
that
there's consent on all parties' parts.
Right.
And don't get polygamy mixed up with open relationship, because that's something different. Like, let's
I think that's a big thing too. The mix up
to open relationship, swinging, like having a different kind of people entering your bedroom. Like, those are not all in one bundle. Like, they're different things. And again, consent on all parties' parts.
And you're right, and I think that's where a lot of people misconstrue. I think all of the stuff that you just spoke on, the swinging and the open relationships, so I think that's the idea that people bring to polygamy, which is why, you know what Queen stated around definition. Definition is important, because a lot of people are just doing a lot of things and saying, oh, that's polygamy. No, it's not. Exactly. You know, so there's that. But to answer the question, I mean, yeah, I've been there, done that. When it comes on to the circumstances, well, I didn't know, but you know, you find out and all of that stuff. Oh my goodness, I can't take a break. Have you guys seen me walking up and down? I walk to the back, there's noise. I come in the house, there's noise. I go to the front, there's noise. I can't win. But yeah, I think for me now, if I would be in a polygamous relationship, my answer is going to be yes. Yes, if I am the one that creates the circumstances. So we don't know if we're gonna say that materialize. I would have to attract a king who is on that vibration. 100%. And then, you know, should it come up naturally, should it make sense for us in terms of building and things like that, then there's something that we can talk about. So only from that perspective. But no man out here can't really bring them argument to me, just because I feel like,
that's why I just say no.
A lot of them are not. Yeah, and that's because I know and move in the vibration of it being a woman created system, and it is run by females, and it is the females that make the decisions, and it's supposed to bring the conversation to the table and all these things. If a man bring that to me, it would have more come from the perspective, as Simone had said, like, well, you feel like I'm not enough, what I bring to this relationship is not it. No, me creme de la creme right first. You can't come to me and tell me say you are a woman, you can provide for all of it, you're gonna buy a 2-3 also and put you in there. So all these things have to, if you're gonna bring this conversation to the table, all these factors have to be taken into consideration. 100%. So if you're not fit, you're not fit to have the, I wouldn't even entertain a conversation like that. We're just gonna stare right in your eyes and don't say anything, because you know that not gonna make sense.
Exactly. It wouldn't make sense. Joy?
Guys have just, Simone particularly reinforced exactly what I said, because even though it may be a thing that, if it's not done from the foundational perspective of actually dealing with the family, I still don't think my constitution and the makeup and the fiery woman that I am will be able to deal with, say, if I left my room tonight and I go short car over this, so go lay down in there with and play up. I don't know if that's the like I said, underlying thing that I shouldn't be feeling, but it is me. And I'm going to appreciate and acknowledge that that is me within my divinity. I can cook, I can clean. If you want me to spin from my head top, I will hang out of the window for upstairs. We can do that. You understand what I said? We can teach you to them too. We can sing to them. So what is it that you need over this song? Because and I think that's always going to be an underlying question for me. I would always be asking myself that. And I've been struggling with my own issues, my own childlike traumas, my own issues. Then to take up one way, I'm going to feel like I'm constantly being rejected. No, I'm gonna take my code and do it.
100%.
And I just want to add to what you said. You're saying, like, you know, if you feel like that, you have to feel like that.
Yeah,
it's supposed to feel like that. It's your feelings is yours, then belong to you. It's valid, you know. And I think too, a lot of people dismiss that we are all different beings. So you have a lot of people by nature, males and females, that are polygamous, and you have by nature males and females that are monogamous. It's a thing. You understand what I say? So as a female who view life through the perspective of being monogamous, you shouldn't feel like you don't feel coerced in no way to change your views around how you feel. How you feel is how you're supposed to feel. That's so you come here. So you understand? So you're supposed to stand firm in a way you know for yourself, where you know makes sense for you. So that matters too, you know?
Yeah, man.
And after a while, things are gonna get sticky in the water. Just knowing that we have emotions, we have feelings. Like somebody's gonna feel left out. Oh, you spent 5 days with Sarah over there, and you only spent 2 days this week with me. Like wagwan. Like
I think
I don't have any favorites.
To be honest, that couldn't for me, I just don't see how it could make sense in a setting of we live in the same house or we live in the same neighborhood. Because I think the concept of even the whole polygamy thing, I think it was probably something that came in many years ago that was just there to maybe aid men so that they didn't just sleep with multiple women. They married so for instance, in a time of war or in a time of when we were being spread all over the globe, so and our men were having to go out to war and maybe didn't come back for months on end. So I think it was during them times that it was more maybe a thing, because then obviously if a man's gonna go away for 3 months, 6 months, he's gonna sleep with a woman. Do you understand? So rather than just sleeping with her, make her your wife, so you provide for her, you don't leave her behind any children that are unprovided for and that kind of thing. So I think it was more in that concept. I can't really see what the benefit of polygamy is in this day and age, just for the sake of it, if that makes sense. If we were to go into some sort of global uprising where we're all scattered all over the place, then maybe that it could be a thing. Do you understand what I mean? Because maybe we're living on an island and there's 30 men and there's 150 women and we all got feelings and we all got needs, and I can understand that. But just to know that you're gonna, as someone said, you're gonna leave my room or my house, and I'm gonna be comfortable with knowing that you're going to Simone's house or Joy's house, I can't do.
And for me, this is why I say politics is important. So when you factor in what's happening to us on a global scale with our men and our children, and the targets that they have on their heads, a lot of our brothers are gone. A lot of our brothers are slaves to the prison system. There's a lot of those things happening. So when we're factoring age and this conversation of which part of man they who and all these things, it actually can make sense. And going back to again these women that keep having these babies and when they not leave the circumstance. So we might as well put a system together where to benefit everybody economically. Instead of the brother work the 9 to 5 and if you pinch and a squeeze, they give you $200 and she want $300, and it makes sense. And when I want house, I'm pulling the income together so the youths them can benefit. So that's my thing when it comes down to the now, because we have these real problems right now. Our children are dying, Bridget, and suffering. And we sit down here so our body and only for one when we really have to look at things from a political perspective, because we are being murdered by the system on a daily basis. This is not a drill, it's not a joke. So that's for me where the politics is concerned, it's almost necessary at this point.
Yeah,
it's a necessary part of a revolution at this point.
Yeah, I understand that, and I can get that concept. However, even though I'd be open to the polygamy, what you're saying, the reality, the concept of that, we'll say that because of how they're seeing it as a sexual, as an interaction with a male, as a man, as your man, that would never happen. Do you see the mindset of people? They couldn't now, the era now, the mindset of females that you're very okay, I don't want to put you on the highest pedestal, but your mindset is so different. It's so up there. So when you're really looking with yourself, how much people do you think have got the concept of your understanding?
No, and you're right. But in just having this conversation,
that's how we educate.
Where we're saying, you understand why?
I respect that still. I respect that still, but I still respect that. No, some females what I talk to are just people in general, and like you said, a lot of people. I know it's hard for us to see. I don't think we realize how lost we are as females. There's a very few females who could kind of get to that level.
Definitely agree with you.
Very few, and I just think it's a shame, but it's reality.
Yeah.
But are we not lost because of the trauma that we've been passed on through
Right.
tradition to tradition, the things that we've
There you
carried
go.
with us that we believe are right? This is the reason why I am hell bent on being the person within my actual generation that break cycles, break educational cycles, break some of the traditions, some of the things that we carry from Jamaica, them relevant and necessary, you know. But some of the things that we've brought along with us are not. Do you get what I mean? They're just not supposed to be carried on and further reinforced into the next generation. So they carry on this PTSD or whatever it is, that trauma, this attachment or detachment or whatever syndrome I'm going through. We project it on our children, and that's why I started buying psychological books and stopped watching TV.
Yeah.
So I could analyze my own behavior, so I didn't push that on my children. So I think a lot of what we're saying now is, it's something that we've grasped and we've held on to, and a lot of Black women are in this feminist thing. Born feminism, you know. I'm into the
100%.
What she said?
100% on that.
She's just agreeing with you. She's agreeing with you. Go on.
Oh, I thought she said, I said she got bonfire. I'm saying, what you want me to do now?
I'm bonfire with you. Me a bonfire with you.
Oh yeah, goody. Yes, goody. No, sir, I'm all for the Black nucleus family. So all this, oh, you a feminist because you say you know you believe in self-sustain. I said self-sustainability. I didn't tell you about being a feminist and overly independent. I said be self-sustainable, self-reliance. That is to be reliant on me and my brothers. I'm not relying on you and your system and your state. I'm not relying on you. So when I say that, it doesn't mean I'm a feminist. And I've had to battle with people in debates in certain groups because Mr. Self-Reliance, I'm going to say all forms of abuse must end. May I start a charity with name so? They say, what do you mean? And, you know, I'm like, no, I'm not. I just believe that there should be a man, a woman, and picnic, and we should live happily ever after. But not there. So we have to work within the framework of what is left. But I am not trying to keep up these things that have been pushed on me by my oppressor and told I should believe this and I should feel this. I just don't want none of that. So I'm trying to kind of broke myself away from that something there.
And that's
more,
like what
more power to that thought there.
Like what sisters Simone and that's why, you know, that's why I even logged onto her podcast from day one, and it's called the Re-Education Podcast, and that in itself was what made me follow the podcast, because I thought, you know what, this is what we have to do. We have to unlearn to relearn. So, you know, and we just have to be, it doesn't matter if it's just a group of 5 of us or a group of 10 of us, we just have to keep on, you know, spreading the knowledge and
100% on that one still, you know. Because can I just touch on what Joy said about being a psychologist, and what I 100% agree with, checking yourself. And I know I keep reinforcing it, but check yourself before you progress, before you project things on other people. You know what I mean? Look where you're coming from with that energy and how they're going to accept it, you know. Because for real, one thing I've noticed as well with a lot of females, take responsibility for our behavior and then we can move on. Okay, we're not perfect, you know, we're not born perfect, we don't know, we learn every day. But you see, if somebody can learn me and say, yo, that weren't right, and I'm like, why, what do you think? And they can show me a thing, great. Do you know what I mean? And as long as you can accept learning, it's fine. And don't ever think we stop learning when we left school. It's a dream we were sold, and we've been sold a dream, and we carry on listening to the dream, and it don't go so, you know. It doesn't go so.
My grandmother always used to tell me this. She said, all time people say, and I started to write down these things because I feel like it's going to get lost. All time people say you have to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Certain things you should tell me, pick it beam out of your eye before you pick it out of somebody else. Them something there in me. You understand?
Glass eyes, those stones.
I just believe that those are the things I need to work with, and I look at myself first. I always tell my children, I said, listen, me and my own baby father's drama. I said to my children, listen, we need to deal with this trauma before you get to my age. They look at me like I'm strange as hell. I'm like, nah, you've got daddy issues. Let's deal with that now. What, my first girl is 19, I'm my next girl at 9. 2 of them are gonna have daddy issues. So why me I go wait for them to turn big woman and then I take it out, and then I go try to look for love in a one different man and look for the father in a one man. Me no depend that, me do it already. So why me I go push it on them? Me have to break the cycle,
but look
right?
at that, Joy. Look at that.
Right now.
Look at that in this room, in this little debate now. And we're acknowledging, you know, something. It started with us, you know, but we're trying to break that cycle. Exactly what we're always saying. We're trying to break that cycle, but how hard is that? Because the way we even us, we're still fed a dream. They're still like drip feeding us what doesn't make sense. So you have an inner battle with life as well, with the system, because you're still drip feeding me things what don't make sense. And yet me with our heads, after try, as Joy said, project it down to our children. And the fact that even in this room, we can't even have that understanding we have got trauma. Make you tell us about trauma 30 years ago. None of us, we'd all think we're great hot girls, hottest girls in the hot stomach. We really believe that. 30 years ago, we have this conversation with none of us because we're coming from the perception of we're the hottest things, we're the hottest girl. Trauma, we don't even know what that is. So I'm just thinking it's like, that is the reality.
From the fact that I knew I had issues. I had to face that I had issues to be able to combat my issues. And I'm still not over all my issues. I'm still healing. Do you get what I mean? From certain issues, but I am adamant. I am not going to do what my grandma did to my mum did to me. I'm just not going to do it.
100%.
I'm just not going to do it. And if it means that I have to break every damn cycle, remember, some is the black sheep in my family, you know. Them not rate all my thing. I'm born Christmas 9 years
Most
ago.
of us here probably are.
So them, so we have to know that we're chosen in some light, in some way. We're here as beacons and light beings to try and show the light, to even if it's our own generational line, our own lineage. But we're here to do something. We wouldn't have connected without being here to do something. And that's all I'm there on. My house is full of books, and I was like, "Yo, Jai, you're not tired for buy a book?" No, brother, I can never tired for buy a book.
Can never be, because that's where all the knowledge
Well,
is.
but them that are on show about the star. What if I find I'm What if I find I'm married?
Listen, you know what? Yeah, I was speaking to her, not to stray off the podcast, but just quickly. When I spoke to her the other day, because she just came back from holiday, and what did I say to you, Joy? I said to you, I want you to meet Sister's Keeper because she just reminds me so much of you.
Yeah. I mean, they are thinking in my art, I said, but listen to my soul sister over here, sir.
You're both October born.
Every word is a pull from my art chick. Yeah, man.
No, when I swear, I told, didn't I say that to you the other day, Joy?
Let me tell you something. You did do a live one day, you put some people in a them place. Me say every piece, I remember start running cold water. I watch it 3 times before I comment on it. And I say, Mama, tell them, put them in a them place. Just fix your crown and put it back. Mama, when you don't fix your crown and put it back. Yeah.
Right, that's the sister. We don't have time to entertain no public double and no foolishness. We don't have time for that. And them things that we are talking about, everything we are talking about, we have things to do, we have work to do. You understand me? I say, with traumas, then we have to sit down and deal with that and heal ourselves. And you understand, just no say, call we abundant and create reality. We have serious work to do. We don't have time for the foolishness. We have no time for that.
All right.
And it's good how we've all connected anyway, sis, you know? It's good, and we keep the connection alive, and we keep, you know, spreading knowledge, you know, linking up with each other to, you know, do things like this. Again, as I said, sis, Simone has a podcast that she's just tackling the systematic, you know, racism. You know, she, you know, go and listen to her last podcast. I don't know if it's the last one, but I listened to
follow her. What's her name again, please?
Someone put it in another group, like your link, your Instagram link.
Please.
She's on the Facebook group. I posted the same podcast on the Facebook group, I think day before yesterday. I posted it there because I thought it was so relevant, and it was young people that were sparing, you know, this change within the education system, you know. And again, as I said, Sister's doing her part for Black culture by trying to tackle the systematic racism within the education system. Do you understand what I mean? So we've all got a part to play in the bigger picture.
I love that stand, Simone, because I was just saying the other day that I don't find that we have a lot of people taking this perspective where we're dealing with the educational system. And I think one of the only pioneers that I see thus far is Umar Johnson. But he mostly speaks from the perspective of Black boys, right? And we don't really have nobody else speak on behalf of our girls. So definitely more power to that.
Yeah, so you know,
I while you're talking on the subject of him, he came on live this week. And I went in his comments and they said he still hasn't found a school. Why is he still trying to recruit more money? And I've paid to go and see Dr. Umar Johnson twice in England, you know, because he's one of the ones that I feel like Despite who he is as the messenger, the
Yeah,
message is still the
yeah,
message, right?
Yes.
So
yeah,
despite all of the stupidness when we hear about him, the message is still the message.
yeah.
But I,
It's
I
yeah,
we
yeah.
I want to extend it to him. I don't know all everybody's background is and what their background is, but me, well, Esther has started
Mm-hmm.
Image Youth.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like she needs to do more on Image Youth. Why may I say that now? It's just a spiritual calling, something just tell me to say it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you need to, because you have educators amongst you now. You could
Mm-hmm.
actually be running something from
This
Zoom
is
for some of
how
the children in Jamaica.
this is why this is the, as I said to people, I get
Together.
vision, and things pop up to me more time, but at the same time, as you're talking about Image was my first love. Anybody, she knows I started Image way before I thought about podcasting or Advice Queen or
Yeah,
Boss
she did.
Queens or whatever, because that's my first love, to work with children, and especially young, it was young Black boys. And I was going to take that to Jamaica because, that's where my passion,
Sorry, can
that's
I
where my
interject
passion
there?
is.
She didn't was gonna take it to Jamaica.
I
She
did.
took it to Jamaica.
I did, but, I'm only one person, innit? You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
but you
only
have
one person,
me.
and that's
I mean,
why I
you
tried
have
to.
me, and you have Sister Keeper over there, so I have
I
Simone.
know, this is what I'm saying.
So
I'm saying at the time when Image came to mind, when,
yes,
if you want to say spirit, whatever, gave me Image, because I don't know where Image came from. It just came to me, and I was like, right, I'm gonna call it Image, and Image stands for Imagine Making a Genuine Effort. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to do with, helping underprivileged Black boys, and I didn't know how I could expand on Image. I didn't know how I could, pull the resources to fund Image without. I didn't want any government affiliation. I don't want any of, I want to be able to. It's for us, run by us. You understand? That was my thought process. But again, as I said, I didn't know how to put all those things in place, because I'm passionate about children, but I don't have no background of working with youths or children in the education system or anything like that. And I reached out to Joy and I said, Joy, come, let's do this thing. But everybody's got their things going on, and it's not something that I have solidified, but that's my passion. So everything else that I'm doing is going to lead back to there, if that makes sense. So it was kind of a way that I was thinking, how am I going to monetize? How am I going to make money to be able to fund? How am I going to be able to call people to action? And I thought, okay, what I need to do is start bonding with people first, because you can't, want to do something on a huge scale and don't involve people. So when I do all of this, this is like finding my tribe, if that makes sense.
I've got 16 years
so
in.
there's a lot of things that I'd love to do. There's a lot of things that I'm sure that everybody here in this setting would love to do. So it's just about.
I've got some youth. I've got 16 years experience in youth and community work, and that's in a variety of fields, in environments. And for the past 6.5 years, I've been working in the criminal justice system. So if you need any support with youth engagement, youth facilitation, that type of stuff, I can definitely.
That's why even the WhatsApp group is vital, because this is how we stay connected and we share ideas, and we make things happen in a sense. Do you get what I mean? And it's just the same that you have your podcast, and I know how hard it is sometimes to have, find people to record with, and to schedule people's time, and Sisters Keeper is usually my lifesaver. But I know how hard it is. So in the circle that we're in, we're supposed to be able to pull resources for each other. So even when I said like, wow, let's record this, I was like, even to have 5
in
people
2 days, you got 5 of us on the screen.
This is so this is how we have to keep the momentum going. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It also shows you about energy with synergy, because I forgot, set a bath, and then realized and couldn't get in. And I was adamant to get in. I reset every password to get back in, because it's a spiritual calling for me. Do you get what I'm saying? And like now you're around your sisters. It's time to us to call to action now, though. You realize that we talk a lot. I realize that as a people, we speak a lot. I've been on this journey personally since just before my daughter was born. She's 9. Do you get what I mean? Like, when am I going to actually put my best foot forward? And that is what I'm probably, why am I waiting for this injection of a bag of money? Why am I waiting for this injection of resources? I need to just put my best foot
Just
forward,
do it.
knowing I have my
And that's the
sisters to catch me if
realization.
I fall, knowing I have my sisters to walk beside me, because the kids need us now, fam.
Yep.
Like, I was in Jamaica, I went there for 6 weeks and I got to stay there for 10 months. They need us now, fam. That's all I want to say that to you. They need us now. If any of you've got anything to do with anything and any passion, they need us now.
For you guys that might just be thinking this is just like, because we have gone sort of off topic random, not off topic because it's still, you know, within the topic of our community, but because I said to her the other day that, you know, with Image, I've just been saying that, you know, let's do something for the kids, you know, because there's so many kids out there that are not going to school, they're not being educated, and we have the resources to be able to do certain things for them, whether it's, you know, just hooking up on a Zoom meeting like this and having them on for 30 minutes, you know. So that's why she is coming with that energy now. So just to give a bit of clarity, because as I said, we sometimes I just, not sometimes, it's just
some of the
audio.
them don't want to get juke. And on top of it, some of the people them in Jamaica don't want to get juke. So if they don't get juke, they can't go to school. So then what?
Yeah, so that's a whole new topic that we're gonna visit anyway. That's all right. That's okay.
Let's go back to polygamy. Sorry,
that's okay. No, I mean, I think we
right now in Toronto, the latest news right now is that them are gonna require for vaccination for restaurants, gyms, public spaces. The only thing they might take it off are medical centers and grocery stores, things like that. But pretty much anywhere else they need for go, you don't need to flash a card. So it's serious out here in these streets.
And that's why we're saying that we have to, you know, start, you know, being more proactive and, you know, maybe sharing ideas, because as I said, you know, we're all just individual, one person that, you know, but collectively we are forcing it. So, you know, but yeah, back to polygamy, as you said, Joy. I think we've all sort of like shared our opinions and expressed our views, and I think we probably just leave with the to say that, you know, agree to disagree, or to say, you know, it's okay for some, you know, some people are gonna like it and then some people are not. It's not gonna be their cup of tea. So yeah, it's been great.
Can I just add?
Yes, darling.
Can I just add? And also, people need to mind their business.
Again, yeah, because it doesn't concern you.
Mind your business.
What might be okay for me?
And not everybody needs to be not everybody needs to be in your business. So keep it to yourself
100%.
and do what you need to do to make yourself happy and your partner or partners happy, and mind the business that pays you in that little section there.
Agreed.
Agreed. Section there, them should just for mind their business overall, yeah, man.
Right there, so mind your business. You know, mind the business that pays you at least.
All right.
No.
Yep. So you guys, I'm gonna end the recording itself. You don't have to drop off if you don't want to just have another 5-minute chat. So I'll just end the recording, but I won't be ending, you know what I mean. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining the podcast.
I'm gonna thank you for 1 second. I'm gonna tell you something over here, sir. Thanks for your help in Toronto, right, sir? You need some help over here. And every day I can sit down and talk to beautiful and sensible, conscious Black woman. So when you don't understand what I do to my spirit today, right now, never got a gym and make a workout good. No, only give me a charge. Only give me a charge. I never have to. I'm just still. I'm just listen to no. I'm just happy every time I set up. I just do and dance.
Yeah.
Happy. No,
I feel the same.
No, honestly, it's such an honor, because trust no man. Like my dad and me, I drive to me, I talk to my sister out of Jamaica. Me, I say right now, I just don't want nobody talk to me. Just around the atmosphere and just with everything that's going on, and people not being able to hold sense of reasoning. It gets daunting sometimes. I just don't want to talk to nobody, but just the there to write us to know and just hearing reason and love and sense and give thanks.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. The same thing I was saying. Remember, sister, remember the same energy now, what you're saying back to us. Not everybody everybody's going to be able to entertain certain conversations. And
This
it
is
just
true.
goes back to that. When we
Yeah.
feel comfortable, you will put yourself and that
100%.
energy. When you feel you can chat, you know, 'cause like you see with all of these here, I bet there's some circumstances where we just sit, we just don't say nothing. We just don't say nothing. You know, when some females are talking, you just don't say nothing because you just feel bewildered.
Yeah.
Like their logic is just over your head. Like I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't got nothing to say. And I can know some females, you know, all of us, but don't know this side of us. The reason why.
That's stress me out. I say everyone will go up, but you know, you're put on a swing in there. Can't catch a break.
Yeah, and there's some females who won't know this side of us. Like, you know, some females, like, I've got some friends who they listen to me and listen, they're like, oh, I didn't know you was like that. And I always say, I wonder why. I wonder why, because I can't hold them conversations. There's no point.
You're right. And it's funny because since Sisters Keeper, I've gotten a lot of that. Like a lot of people are in awe. But I've known her all these years. I didn't know that.
I never knew.
You know, she think like that or she talk like that. Because again, as Mama says, she have beer book and just my book them and me a friend. Because I realized, like, you know, it's not everyone's equipped to have certain conversation. And Esther, I spoke to you about. I mean, we talk. When we talk because it's just so nice to be able to have someone that's able to relate to you, or even siblings that just want to have uplifting conversations. It's rare, you know. So trust me, it's a beautiful thing to be in a setting like this. Like I feel like, yeah, but that one, this makes sense.
Yeah,
you know?
yes. Keyword, this makes sense.
Yeah,
this makes
100%.
Yeah.
Why does it make sense? I'm asking another. Why it makes sense?
Because you just feel the energy of the everybody you're going to speak, everybody on this live tonight is coming from the same place, no matter how they're just coming from the same place.
Not only even that, I think for something for me too is that even on the topic itself, we all share different perspectives. However, you didn't have anybody saying, but no, and I say everything, and I say everything.
Like
there was just an acceptance and respect in the fact that you have your experience where you're coming from. I hear your sister, I learned something, and you understand what I mean? And you're humbly night, like it's not everywhere. Because some people, when they speak, no matter them call themselves conscious, them have a certain amount of knowledge, and they want to shove it down your throat. If you share a different perspective, then that's a problem, because you must not know nothing. You must not know. Because see, this is how there's none of that here. I don't find no ego. Everybody know themselves. Everybody grounded in themselves, and I just love like so. That makes sense, Mama. Makes sense.
Come out of the conscious community from 2016.
Long time, girl.
Status part, Instagram part, everybody that said, I no longer am part of that community because one are coercive. One, you're coercive. If me am vegan food, me am not something wrong with me. I'm acidic. Me not supposed to walk that herb because me am chicken. You me not come out on a group. Me come out on a group. I don't know, man, come running in the group, but Hotep, sister, Hotep, walk. And you still have to my first show you my pussy tongue. Don't do it.
Talk about it, Mama. Talk about it. And Esther, we talked about this, right?
Sure,
I was saying from me.
Joy, don't kill me, please.
A lot of these different spaces, and it's the same thing that she's saying. Like, you know, if you don't do this, the women have to dress a certain way. The women almost have to think a certain way and a certain way. Speak a certain. I mean, I say I draw this. I have to show them people around beers, them people play too rough.
And that's why, you see, that's why people accept us more, because we're just real, isn't it? You're just being yourself and you're just giving what you have, isn't it? You're not trying to paint a different picture like, oh, you know, my crystals are here and I shall do this. And we're just we're just giving the knowledge that we have in our real, authentic state. That's just it.
The crystals are here, my crystals are behind me.
If you don't know me,
you know, like there's some people that do that, but then they're just probably just not even up here. It's not right, but they do all of that. You know, the incense and the sage, and you know, they follow the persona of consciousness and spirituality, but they don't practice it.
I can think about people I know who gives people readings, who says they're coaches for people's lives, but are not okay. I'm telling you, are not mentally okay. So when I look at things like that, this is really a joke. This is really a mockery. This is madness, you know. And people have people who give them direction, who not have no direction for themselves, just because them burn too. It's a mockery. No, you have to just be you. You have to just be you. All of we are spiritual beings that have a human experience. You have to be you. You have to be yourself. So if you're not being yourself, who are you being, and how are you fit to lead anyone?
Yeah.
Exactly. Make me jump out tight. Make sure me publicly declare it. I say, don't call me woke.
Yeah.
Don't call me no opinion. Don't call me don't call me nothing. I'm a free spirit. Don't call me nothing. Don't stand me. Don't put me in a damn box. So no go on when I go with that.
Yeah.
%.
Right. That's all.
Yes,
I think we've all
girl.
been there. We've all been there.
We have.
Don't
Yeah.
worry. Not everyday crystals. Some days you're gone. Not everyday crystals.
Hey, so that man tell them, I'm a crystals and I'm a left and I'm going and I'm a right. All of them,
Oh,
man.
God.
That's a good day.
How the divine energy know for war, just like what she know for run stage and talk about frankincense and myrrh. What happened to them?
Yeah. It's interesting because it's this conversation too that, you know, you're spiritual, or even go back to what they have tainted conscious to be. You're supposed to be a particular way. You're supposed to be a pushover. You're almost supposed to be an idiot. Like, that doesn't make sense. How does that make sense? If I know myself and I'm grounded and I know who I am, why would I be taking disrespect or allow people to take advantage of me just because I want to come off as more grounded? I lie on that tell. Lie on that tell.
Hey, my custom done them and go to doors barefoot and stand up in that style and go
right,
back.
let's not grown back.
I'm a human, yeah?
Right, that's
a human being. When I cross me, I feel like I'm going to leg on my mouth and then go to the door and say, who's son? Come back in.
Is it necessary? Yeah, it's necessary sometimes. All I'm powered for who? So it can manifest in a destructive ways that's not going to benefit me. Well, it done mean.
Clog up my womb. Clog up my womb and my acidic and my giants them full of acid.
No, that makes sense. Well, it done mean.
I can't take these two Libra people, you know.
That Libra too?
Yeah, I told you that she was just like, yeah, she was.
No, we can't run there.
Mama, right next door. Right next time. Don't me tell us next time. Don't me tell us next time.
I told her.
Yes, good.
It's only because I haven't spoken to you, Sisters Keeper, but I told her just probably like 2 days ago that you're just literally the same thing, you know. Weird.
Esther, you know, so that guy over my head and lick me over again.
Oh, I time. Oh, time. I saw call my sister today because she a Libra too. Fair you admit it now. I say a Libra season, nobody enough to talk to me. Me that business girl gonna need to hurry up and move over. Libra season, nobody enough to talk to me.
You're so nice, Simone. Simone does stop skin her teeth. You're so nice.
Mom is just like, whoa.
Oh gosh.
No. But guys, it's been great wrapping it up.
Awesome.
Always, and we got to do this again sometime soon.
We must.
Even if we're not recording a podcast or whatever, just
link up.
We just link up on video and have a little laugh and whatsoever.
Yep.
You ready anytime when you're ready, just tell me, forget it. So I'm gonna lock up myself again.
That's why I said to do the Facebook group, because you can do all of that on Facebook without having to send invitation. It's just like a live on Instagram.
Okay.
But it's just more of us are able to join and whatsoever, so we can do that, you know, if you guys want once a week or whatever. Anyway, we talk about that in the group when it's over. But
man, that would be nice, even for just an hour. Just be, you know, it would be nice to recharge or something. Yeah, do a book club. I do my book club too. We meet every other Saturday.
Exactly.
For an hour, sometimes 2 over Zoom, depending on the conversation. So them something nice and something to look forward to.
Something there, come here,
and it's empowering.
Yeah, it's just we need them space there. We actually need it. So I'm up for it.
Definitely.
Let's do the thing, do the right thing, and make it go on.
Yeah, man, please, because this is the organization body, you know.
You know what? Yeah, I don't know. It's just I just think I've just had a lot of spiritual intuition or whatever you want to call it, because a lot of the stuff that I've done, guys, trust me, sometimes I don't even remember that I done it. So you know that I'm working in a space of, it's just my mind, I'm just following my mind. So you understand? Sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing with what I'm doing, if that makes sense. I'm just doing it. You know, so I'm just following, I'm just letting life take control right now.
Make things flow.
So, and it's going in a good direction.
The power of now. The power
because
of now.
you know, but when I first came in, when I first started to, you know, take my energy serious, I lost a lot of people in it. And I can't remember whose live it was that I was on, and the person said, you'll find your tribe, and that so resonated with me so much that I was like, wow, because I lost a lot of, people that are around me and friends and whatsoever, because people wasn't understanding the space that I was in. So yeah, so it's good to know that I have people now that I can reach out to and be like, yes, sis, what's up?
I shake them, mama. You shake them and you expand. You don't lose nobody.
Exactly.
You never lose them.
Right. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
And them lose you.
There you go. There you go.
And can I just say, anyone who's got anything going on, any podcasts, any groups, just put it in there on WhatsApp so anybody can get involved. Because I do miss a lot of things, me and my sleep.
And another reason why I keep on,
I will see it.
Sorry to cut you, Saf, but the reason why I keep on advocating the Facebook is because anybody that's joining into the WhatsApp group, only the people that are in the WhatsApp group already see certain information. So you might come into the WhatsApp group at a point like Joy did, and everything that was posted prior, you're not going to see that.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's good to have the space to talk on WhatsApp and whatever, but when we're sharing information or we're sharing projects, let's share that on Facebook, because then it's there for everybody to be able to easily access.
Okay.
You understand what I mean? Rather than having to scroll up.
And then it's easy to promote and shareable from that space as well.
Yeah, it's shareable. It's
share it with
easier
our
to
own
access.
personal network. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's no harm in sharing it in the WhatsApp group. But I'm just saying, just so that that people are able to access it whenever they want, also share it over there. Because everybody's able to share over there. There's no restriction on anybody sharing or whatsoever. So yeah, guys.
Thank you for hosting it, darling.
And Boss Queens, you need to have some t-shirts with the Boss Queens on it. Thank you.
It's coming. It's coming. As I said, I'm just navigating in a space that I'm just not even familiar with myself, innit? So things are just and I'm only one person, so there's only so much. Everything I got to be posting, I got to be doing all this wonderful stuff. I mean, not thank God, but thank God I ain't working right now, because if I was working, I don't know how I'd find the time to do half of what I'm doing. So so the t-shirts are coming. They're definitely coming soon.
Okay.
Soon.
Good.
Yeah, so stay tuned. I'm joking. But yeah,
thank you for that energy this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you all as well, because now I can go to bed on a good note, high spirit.
Yes.
Telling
you guys charged me today.
Energized.
I say blessings, love and light to all you Omegas, divine energy in this space. Ashe. Good night.
Okay.
Good night, darling. Good night.
Yeah, everybody. I'll speak to you all soon.
Good day. And I'm my night here to go about in the business over there. Good day.
I forgot it's only 5 o'clock for you, isn't it?
Only after 5 for me.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
I'll be going to the gym soon. Sleep well.
Lovely. I'll be going to the gym in my dream.
I second that one, Simone. I'm done.
Love, and more abundance, sis. Love.
Take care. More love. Yeah, man.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.